computers now have primary control.
Hello, everybody. Oh, I gotta recopy my audio over here. Hold on one second. There we go. All right, so today my camera is struggling, so I'm using the webcam as my craft camera, so no face cam today. Hope that's fine. I had a little bit of free time on Friday, so I got the body most of the way done. As I mentioned in the description, I don't know if you guys looked at it first, I promised some people some plushies as a part of the Pillow Fort fundraising drive, and I haven't gotten around to doing them yet. So craft stream is a great time to just vibe and relax and do this. They are made out of felt, but I don't felt them. I sew the felt together. So I have, pretty standard bodies. And I sew all the pieces together, turn them inside out, and now I need to stuff it before I sew them together completely. Hi TJ, how are you this lovely evening? So yeah, I gotta stuff it first. I do have about a 4-foot tall box of fluff next to me to pull out of. So that's what you're gonna be seeing me doing for a little bit. And then once we get them all stuffed and put together, then we can start fiddling with the clothes and the hair and all the things that make him a plushie. I have no idea. You used to have a little chopstick to do this part in, but I have no idea where it went. So we're just gonna use a pen that is not clicked up. Dives into box of floof, right? Sometimes I just look at it and I'm like, what if I just slept in that? Then it would get all over me, that's what, but, it's a nice thought. Somebody complimented me recently on my regular streaming, and I was like, well, that you clearly don't know that I almost never do craft streams like I'm supposed to. Alright, I need to break this up. It's gotten to be too big of a chunk to go in the limbs. It's funny because buying a bag of floof is Not that expensive, but, you know, one decently sized bag of floof disappears really quickly. So what I tend to do is wait till there's a sale and then buy. I'm not kidding. I was gonna move this. I can't. I'll post a picture later in the Discord, but it's literally like at least 3 feet tall. And then when you open it up, it expands. And I get that for like $50, and then I can make hundreds of plushies out of it. Great deal. Okay, there's one little leg. Oh gosh. This webcam does not white balance as well as my usual camera does, so sorry that it's a little washed out. Just gotta do it piece by piece, nice and patiently. These 2 little legs are done. Little leggies. By the way, last Friday's stream of Rubber Bandits was hilarious. It's the little leggies reminded me of kick, 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 kick. I have a random lo-fi playlist on in the background, so if any of y'all fall asleep, I don't blame you at all. A nap sounds great. This is also a good chance as I'm stuffing the floof into here. Little leggies. Yeah, as I'm stuffing the fluff into here, it's a good chance to double check that all my seams are consistent. I do hand sew these, so sometimes I will have too big of a gap between stitches, and that's really apparent at this stage because of the white floof against whatever color base I'm doing. So he's got a little bit of a gap there right between his legs, but that will be covered with clothes, so I'm not worried about it. All of the arms look good. Yeah, good. Okay. Now I just gotta have it stiff so that the joints aren't too soft. These little plushies go pretty quickly. I can usually get one done completely within an hour, or with 2 hours, sorry. But I did one time make a gigantic Hobbs plushie for an old roommate. It was 3 feet tall, and she grabbed it, squealed, and promptly fell over sideways holding it, and refused to move from the couch the rest of the day. Which, you know, fair. I keep habitually looking up to where the camera usually is, but because it's overhead and not on top of my computer looking at my face, it doesn't matter if I look at it or not. Look at that. Nice little starfish body. Now to do the head. As you'll notice, I still have this running thread hanging off of it. That's because I find it easier to use the hanging thread left from sewing the head around to attach the head to the body when I'm done, rather than starting a new thread. I find it's actually also a lot stronger of a seam. And disappears all of this fluff. Thread gets so the fluff gets so compressed into this little space. It looks like so much floof when it's out and loose. Good. A little bit more. I said a little bit more, not that much. The head is a little tricky because I have to get enough in here to make it firm, but not too much because there needs to be space for the neck to go up into the head. That should be good all the way around. So now, ta-da! Now he's got all this excess fluff on him. And as always, let me know if the audio balance isn't quite right. We're gonna pin this so it doesn't slide up. And then start on the other side. There's always a little bit of this seam here from where the two pieces connect, but that usually disappears into the clothing for most of these, but also it kind of disappears on its own once we start stitching. Right. Hope you guys, I got a good angle for that. It's gonna get a lot more interesting when I actually start working on identifying pieces rather than blank voodoo doll baby. This needle is a tiny bit wider than my embroidery needle, so it's not quite as hard on my fingers. That's why when I was doing the cross stitching, I had a band-aid on this finger because the stitching over and over and using my finger to push it through starts to kind of wear a hole in my finger. But this needle is just that tiny little extra bit wider, keeps it from stabbing into me. One of these times, we're gonna have to do one of these streams, but on like Discord or something. And then I'll just put one of the Doctor Who audio dramas that I keep trying to get everybody into on in the background. Obviously, we can't do it on YouTube because copyright, but we can be sneaky about it on Discord. This pin needs to go away. I sold one of these to somebody when I used to have an Etsy store, and they left the cutest feedback that was like, "My grandma who has been sewing for years, this is a fantastic stitch job." And I'm like, "Oh, thanks." I'm glad it does sound like a blast. Now we can have a voice call so that everybody can talk and not just me. I haven't made one of these in an extended period of time. My own business has just kind of taken off enough that I didn't have time for these fiddly little things. But I'm glad to see that it doesn't feel like I've really forgotten anything. It comes back really quickly. I mean, it helps that these were never too terribly complicated. The best part of doing these was obviously because I'm doing them by hand and I'm doing myself. I could make plushies of pretty much anything. So I always, you know, the few times I did go to shows with this, I did have a stock, but they were always pretty more rare characters that don't tend to have a ton of merch of them. So when someone did find their favorite character that never has merch of them, they were so excited. It was infectious. Sewing around the arm's always a tricky part. Just to see how excited they are to be like, I love this person, and they never have anything of him. And one time I had, and again, as I said, I can usually get these done in like 1 to 2 hours. So one time I was at a show, and this guy comes up and he's kind of looking at my wall and chatting with me a bit. Then he's flipping through the book I have on the table, and I'm like, "Oh, are you looking for anything in particular?" And he's like, you wouldn't have them. Nobody ever does." And I kind of just point to the sign on my table, and I'm like, I do commissions. He's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll do it right here," because I don't sit still well. That's why I pick up all these fiddly little crafts. Because when I'm sitting and relaxing and watching TV or something, nowadays I mostly play Switch, but before I'd craft, which is how I built up the stock. And so he probably requests Raven and Starfire from Tomb Titans. And he was another vendor at the show, so I was like, "Come back on Sunday, I'll have them done." Oh my god, that guy's face was so excited. I also had one lady that was like, "Can you do a squirrel girl?" And I was like, let's see if I can. Because obviously most of them have these pretty standardized bodies that I then build around. But there's been a couple interesting ones. Like Baymax I had to make a custom body for. Just because obviously he's got a weird shape. And I made a custom one for Gru because he's got a tree head instead of a round one. Squirrel Girl, again, I was doing that live at a convention. So I had to figure out how to make her tail, because she obviously has a squirrel tail. So that was a fun little experiment. The first one I ever did was because one of my friends at the time was super into Supernatural. And keep in mind, this was like maybe when season 6 was airing, very, very early on in Supernatural. She was just like, "If anyone could make me a Cass plushie," and I was like, "I'll figure it out." So that's actually how I figured out how to make these. And he actually had full feathered wings. The little trench coat and the little backwards tie and all the little details. That's really, I feel like, what makes these. Obviously, at this size and with this material, I can't make them 100% screen accurate, but the little details are the fun bits to include. Threaded my needle. Not bad that I managed to not do that until the end. This one off. One more time just to be sure. And then we snip the thread and get started with the outfit and the hair. And there's a little plushy guy. Not perfect, not completely even, but cute nonetheless. A little empty right now. Alright, the base I gotta do for you is dark blue. At first, just dark blue undershirt. I have a whole little plushie kit next to my desk with all the different colors of felt that I've collected over the years. So digging through it to find the right color can be fun. Here, I'll actually bring it up onto the table so you can see. Felt. So all of these are greens and grays and flesh colored ones that I don't need. I need blue. what's down here. Is that going to be enough? I see a blue. No, that's a tiny bit of blue. There's a blue. While I'm in here, get the next color too. Box O felt. Multiple boxes O felt. Stackable boxes O felt. I actually put through these ones over here were actually part of a custom order. Got a custom order on Etsy of different flesh colors, flesh tones, so that I could do different characters. And then from that one, same one, I also got different, like a grayscale set, so that I could do some black and white characters. I had this whole scheme to do the entire, like the whole set of all the doctors at the time, which was only 11 of them. And I did 1 and 2 in black and white, and then I kind of lost steam. All right. So that's about as wide as I need you to be. The fun part of this is a lot of the eyeballing. We're gonna move the needle so I don't accidentally like lose it in him. Normally at this point I'd play a game of try to guess which character it is, but I know you won't know, TJ, so. Gosh, aren't rain sounds just so relaxing? Which side do I want to be the front? This one. Little armholes for him. Might be too small. Let's see. It's a little too small, but it's fine. This isn't actually a shirt that he's gonna have to take on and off. It's fine. Honestly, sometimes I wish I could be sewn into my clothes, then maybe they would fit slightly better. A bit more of a neckline. There we go. Okay, and before we sew him in, I'm gonna give him a tiny, tiny bit of sleeve. Actually, I bet this could be used. Sort of. Yeah. Sure. Slightly different arm shape than I usually give them, but oops, don't rip the felt, don't rip the felt, don't rip the felt. I'm gonna make this a little wider so I don't run into that problem again. There we go. All right, where's my blue thread? My little plushie kit also has nice big thread section and button section for the end. No.
Liftoff of mission 41D, the first flight of the orbital Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower.
You've been working on anything fun? I mean, other than everything else you're working on, TJ. There's probably not a ton of time to work on anything fun. Playing any good games or anything? Cozy Cove and Wordle. I think everybody but me is playing Wordle. Tinder swindler. Interesting. Scam artists or a particular one on dating profile sites, or just Tinder specifically. You finally gave in. I'm not fighting it, I just don't have the time. A particular scam artist? Nice. Was it any good? I get in these moods where I want to watch a bunch of documentaries, and then I watch like one or two really bad ones in a row, and then I'm just like, all right, I'm done. Ah. No, untangle, untangle, untangle. Ah! Lost my thread again. Very small work, very detailed. It's good, excellent. Ponzi scheme on women? How does that even work? People are so dumb with what they'll give out on the internet. Sometimes it's wild. Like, I know I'm not the most careful. In fact, in our little online friend group, I'm probably the least careful. But I feel like I'm still more careful than the average person. Though, when I was running that postcard by people, somebody did very kindly message me and point out that I had forgotten the location on one point. Oops. Alright, hopefully that works out once it's on him. Let's tie it off. Oh, that's wild and deeply unfortunate. I don't know, if a man started asking me to give him money, I'd be done. But also, I'm not desperate for a romantic relationship, so I just can't relate to that mindset. People will just chop off and give up so much of themselves to be with someone, and they think that'll make them happy, and I don't get it. PSA from the aromantic, but if you have to lose parts of yourself to be with somebody, then you will never be happy in that relationship. Red flag! Did he finally... I'm assuming he finally got caught if they made a documentary about him. Nope. Go that way, thank you. Oh, you're not done yet? No. Whenever they do a documentary on any true crime type of thing and they don't have the perpetrator themselves in the documentary, I'm like, is it because they didn't want to talk to you, or are they gonna, like, die at some point in this? Let's find out. Uh-oh. I did that one backwards. Sorry, probably had that off screen. I get so fixated on these tiny details that I forget, like, oh, is my framing still okay? This is a little sloppy, but it's going to set up against his arm and no one's ever going to see it. Because something else is going over the top of it. This angle is just really tricky. Not usually how I do sleeves, but I've never done cap sleeves for any of these before. Eventually I'll get around to actually making my own clothes. But for now, I'll just make tiny doll clothes. Oh, good. That fleshed out exactly how I wanted it to. It's folding inwards, which is not what I want. Fold the other way. There we go. Perfect. There's little cap sleeves. Alright, time to pin it back on him again. And where did I put my needle? There it is. Cute little sleevies. This camera, I don't know about for you on the stream, but this camera is noticeably lower quality than my crafting camera usually is, but it didn't want to charge today. So I gotta swap out the battery when I'm not setting up everything else for the stream. That should be good. Ah. Let's start from the top and go down. Because that's way more important than it be even. Nope, fold it all the way through. I'm gonna try, I have one more of these that I promised somebody, so we'll get this one done today, and then I will do my best to get the base done and ready for next time, because that one's not flesh colored. That one I think has a black base, and then we'll do the next one next time. Might need to figure out a different thing to lay down, because if that's got a black body, it might be bad contrast with the black of my giant mouse pad. Normally you would never put like a center seam right down the back of a shirt, but this isn't real clothes, and it's gonna be covered by the top layer, so it's easier. All right, that should be good. Alright, now he's got a little shirt. I was about to stack that in that, and that's not what I need. I know I have orange thread, but I don't have it in here, so I will be right back. Just not gonna turn it to the be right back screen, just gonna leave it.
I found this song and I really like it. Would your stream like to know the song? Because it's delightful.
Okay, I have no idea where the orange thread went, so I'll just use the flesh color thread. I think it'll blend in well enough. Alright, so I think in the picture this is all one big piece, but that's gonna be way too hard for me to do, and he does have a belt, so we'll do the belt, or we'll just do bottoms and then tops and then belt. Now some fun little twiddly bits. Dropped it. This is why pins are important. Shush. And pin. Now, should make it not a skirt. Snip off the excess fabric. Now the other leg. Itty bitty little pins. That's better. Okay, so pants. Now time to sew them around so they don't stay with a bunch of pins in them. I think the pants are the most fun part in my opinion. And then the hair is the second most fun. Especially when you've got anime characters. Because they have some wacky hair. Knock on wood, but somehow we've avoided all the weird bots tonight. So far. I'm sure now that I said that, they'll come out in force. This music is making me sleepy. I have to get up early tomorrow for some lab tests. Woo. Luckily, this camera covers more of this than I think it does, because every time I'm like, oh, I'm not framed up very well, I look up and it's fine. I better deal with this knot right now or it's going to get very annoying later. There we go. That is my trick with knots, is to put the needle in the middle of them and pull that way. It usually pops right out. Whereas if you tug on the thread as it runs, I find the knot usually just gets tighter and you're screwed. There we go. Little fluff that keeps coming out. I will find the fluff little strands on me everywhere for years. It's almost like glitter that way, or cat hair. Why do I always go to the crafts with all the little fiddly bits? I wonder what it is about it that draws me in. This little bit is being annoying. Flatten out, please, but don't pull the shirt up. I feel like this playlist I selected only actually has like 3 or 4 lo-fi songs that it just keeps looping. Which is fine. It's just funny that it's billed as a couple hours long playlist, but not actually that different. Alright, so we're almost around the back and done with the waist, just about. So then we go down and do the legs, which is always a very funny part to watch. Is this proper technique? Who cares? It's mine, and it works, and I've never had complaints before. If only I could take that attitude with more things I do in life, my life would probably not be quite as stressful. That was a little too wide. I knew it. Uh-oh. Created a knot for myself right by the needle. Don't jump the gun, it's just gonna make things worse. Come on, untangle, thank you. That should be a better point now. Just sew up the crotch. This requires lots of stitches because it's the more bendable area of the plushie. And I would hate for somebody to pop the stitch by just like wiggling his legs, so I gotta stitch a bunch right in the crotch. Ah, itchy hand. Ah. Alright, now I need to switch sides so we can go up the leg nice and neatly. Oh, that is also not a neat cut, so better. Oops. Of course I caught the thread when trimming that. Good job, me. Doesn't blend, no. Flesh tone doesn't blend quite as nicely into the orange as I would like, but oh well. Have to make a new knot because I cut my darn thread. I have to do lots of little knots because none of them are big enough to prevent the thread from actually sliding all the way through. All right, now we're moving. I don't even know how well you can see this with the camera. Alright, time for that pin to come out. Yep, confirmed. There's only like 4 or 5 songs in this actual playlist just on repeat. Pretty sure this is the third time it's come up.
Every core computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Stitch up the little feeties. Sometimes I try to get this on a much cleaner stitch. I'm not too worried about it now. I mean, it's coming out not that messy anyway, but I am actually going to go ahead and give him his little booties. So these ends are going to be covered anyway. There's one little feety done. Now I'm going to bring the needle up the inseam and stitch the other leg. Because again, I find the less starting knots I have, the stronger the stitches are, so. Oop. Second leg, let's go. And nearly to the foot again. Right. Side to side, front, back. Dang it, I snapped my thread again. Some of the threads I have in my collection are not the strongest, and they snap very easily. This was the foot I was working on. Okay. And we will trim that in a bit. I'm gonna stitch this closed so that we don't immediately lose all the progress we got because the thread snapped. And there we go. This bottom half is done. Now the top should be really simple. Hi, how are you, Oliver? You got any guesses as to what I'm working on? You can see it, the color's kind of bleeding through on the bottom there. I don't know if it's showing up on camera very well, but it's going to get covered in a second here, so no worries. I'm doing okay. Getting a little stiff, but that's because I spend just way too much time sitting down all day. No. Overshot my knot. That's why the dramatic no. Okay. So this top I am actually going to do a side seam so that it isn't obtrusively in the way of the other details. So we need it to be about that wide. Okay. Getting a party on in here, huh? How long does this need to be? Oh, that's more than enough. There we go. Oh, it's longer at that end than it is on this end. Haha. This way we fold it over this way and then just go. Boop. There we go. Is that good? That should be good. Trim around the arm a little bit. Actually, first. Very lightly cut a half circle. Not perfect, but good enough. And then on this side, cut out a full circle. Oh boy, that didn't go through. There we go. And there we go. barely, barely, barely. And again, a very tiny half circle. All right. Perfect. Little wonky matchup at the bottom. Because it's a little wonky matchup at the top. It's fine. There we go. All right, now time to stitch it together. This is why I don't usually do side seams. They're much, much harder, but like I said, I don't want to mess up the details on this one by running a seam up the middle of the details. There. This is why they only take me about 2 hours each, because it's a lot of eyeballing and going, perfect, let's go. Don't need to sit around and wait for it to be right. It just is. Not like real sewing where I have to very carefully measure twice, cut once. Alright, I'm going to tie this off, but then run it up through the arm to the other end of the seam. There we go. Gosh, that was tricky. Didn't want to go for a little bit there. Sorry, I'm not giving you guys a good angle. This is just such a tiny piece that sewing it right requires holding it in a weird angle. Almost unthreaded my needle once again. All right, and seam is done. Now to cut out the little detail. Yeah, it's this side. Okay. I was like, which side's my front again? No, the little cap sleeve is not coming through. Come on. There we go. Little cap sleeves are out. This is the front, so now you gotta cut the neckline out. This is not working very well. Need to use my big scissors. Need to make this side a little deeper. Find it much easier to be careful taking it off because I can always take off more, but I can't add it back on. All right, there's the shape. Snacks are great. Excellent choices are being made here. You know what I have been craving all day? Ice cream. I should get that after the stream. But I should cook dinner first. No, wait. I can eat ice cream while I'm cooking dinner. The joys of being an adult. This isn't going to be perfectly even, but again, that's because I'm hand cutting and doing it by eyeball. Right? Ice cream. Well, this might not be long enough. Ooh, I might need more. Oh no, that's fine. It keeps coming down farther than I want it to. Can you stay up where I'm asking you to, please? Oh, he has it much higher anyway. Screw it. I was going to use it to try to cover the seam, but it's not going to work. It's fine. The seam can show. All right, so these ones I'm just gonna do a couple of tack stitches, because largely it sits fine. I'm gonna do a quick running stitch along it. Since this isn't gonna be covered, I might as well even it out. Okay, I need a blue. Where did my blue thread go? Did I put it back? I did. da, da, da. We should be able to hide the knot right behind this knot. Actually, we'll go up under the shirt. How about that? Get it all around his little limmies. And a quick running stitch just around the edge. Just to keep it in place. That's way too big. It's fine to have that big of a gap in the back, but not in the front. The smaller the running stitch, the more it disappears. So which is what we want. Welcome back. What did you get for a snack? You can do the running stitch here because it's not doing any heavy duty work. It's just holding the belt roughly in place. To like immediately come out needle. Come on. There we go. Flavor blasted goldfish. What flavor is it blasted with? And Uncrustables. Nice. That should hold them in roughly the right direction I want it to, so I can tie this off. Boop. I'm trying this a little shorter. All right. Just flavor. Fair enough, that's on me. All right. There's this little outfit. Still gotta do some of the little details, but we're gonna do his hair. Any guesses on who it is? Okay, I think black is in the lower bin. I hope I still have some black left. Ooh. That's a dark brown. Do I have any black left anywhere? Yes, it should be. These bins are difficult in this space. I have allotted myself. Go. All right. Get off, little fuzz. No red on this piece. It is a guy from an anime. You are correct, TJ. Good job. 10 points to House TJ. It is Dragon Ball Z. It is Goku. Good job, guys. Points. Teamwork makes the dream work, right? All right. How am I gonna do your hair, dude? I'm just gonna give myself a lot of worm to work with. How about that? Front doesn't need quite as much room to work with because it goes up from here, but I don't have to go all the way down from the back. Ow. And up. Great. This is the fun part of just eyeballing it and going, does that look okay? Yeah, good enough. He does have some lower pointy bits, but I'm probably not going to do those, because those look a little funky in my style. Maybe I'll do like one. There we go. It's got one little pointy bit at the bottom. Oh, that's so hard just to see on this. Maybe we'll use the oranges. That way the black pops a little bit more. Come up a little bit, thank you. All right, and then that side can be sewn to the head, but these two can pop out. Okay, his bangs. I like that I have basically as much extra fabric above his head to work with as great. right, down we go. To the next swoopy point. There's his spiky bangs. Shoo, all you little bits. I think I'm gonna sew this attached so that he doesn't slide off, and then I'll do the big swoops on the top of his head. But I'm worried that if I cut those first, it's gonna slide right off, and then I'm gonna have to reset everything. Black thread it is. Alright, so usually with these guys, I just do button eyes. And his pupil color is just black. But also, he kind of distinctively has, like, big white irises. Or not irises, sorry. Sclera. And then, like, tiny black dot pupil. So I'm kind of wondering if I should use white button eyes and then just draw a little black circle on them. I don't know. Let's get his hair done first before we start fussing with that part. Oh, come along. Thank you. Grabbing the wrong piece and pulling it out instead of through.
Every core computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
This is a much longer thread than I was working with for the clothes because the hair is a lot more surface area. More surface area that needs to be attached in order to function properly. So it's only Tuesday. Anybody got anything fun coming up over the week? Or anything dreaded? We're gonna leave this little bit pointing out. So we'll skip down to here. No. car oil change today. That's good. Yeah. Whenever I need my car oil changed, I go all the way up to the north end of the island, which is like a 45-minute drive. But once you find a good mechanic, you do not change unless you have to. These guys also wash and vacuum my car whenever I get service from them, so that's fun. Your birthday's coming up. Happy birthday. Mine's not till summer. Yeah. Stick myself with the needles all the time. Honestly, I'm not a big birthday person, so I'd never have birthday plans. Like, last year, TJ and I went camping for my birthday. That was fun. But usually I don't do anything except maybe, like, take myself out to a nice meal. That's about all I do. Night, TJ. Thanks for coming to hang out. I will probably... I'll get his hair done on stream. And then I might cut the stream. And do all the little fiddly details on my own time. And then I'll post a finished version of him. But doing the little fiddly details gets to holding him close to my body and doing it weird angles. So I can't imagine it's that fun to watch once I get to that part. Yeah, birthdays aren't really my thing. So it's always funny when I'm up next to somebody who... loves their birthday. Like, I don't judge them for it, you know, do whatever makes you happy. But it's funny because, like, my birthday is the day after my boss's, who usually she's one of the that's like, it's my birth week, people. Cannot relate. I have a client that I told I would be busy tonight. She keeps texting me, and I'm like, not answering you. I said I wasn't available tonight. He's got the little sticky outy bits at the bottom of his head. I'm gonna go up and stitch the bangs down. And then it should be secure enough for me to fuss with the top of the head. No. There we go. Got that pesky knot out. All the sticky notes from work are coming with the thread, whether I want them to or not. Spoilers, I do not want them to come. They need to stay where they are. No, go back. All right. Up to the first little floof of bang. Oh, I unthreaded my needle again. All the way through, please. Thank you. I don't remember what kind of stitch this is called, but it's not a running stitch because I do actually want to tack this down to his face. Need it to be a sturdier stitch. So it's the one I use the most frequently when I'm hand stitching. Don't knot on his arm, please. Thank you. Should have done the belt last, but I wanted to make sure it looked okay before I moved on to his hair. But it just keeps getting in the way. Sorry, I'm being kind of quiet at this point, but I don't know what else to talk about. I just keep dragging him out along with my hand. the second side of the bangs. I've got it pinned around the crest of his head, but I don't stitch there because I don't want to flatten his hair. Part of the fun of anime boys is big poofy hair. I also don't tend to do features like mouths or nose or eyebrows or anything on these. One of my first ones, I tried to do a mouth and it just looked super weird. So I've just never done mouths ever since. Except for on ones like Iron Man, because that's just a straight seam and it's part of the mask. But for most of them, I think they look cute. Sometimes I get comments that they're creepy, but boo. The vast majority of these that I've done have been fictional characters, obviously. But I have occasionally had a person or a couple send me a picture of themselves and ask me to do that. And absolutely, I could work from pictures. That's all I do. No, go away, pen. You were helpful for stuffing him, but I don't need you anymore. He's taken me a little longer than my 2-hour-ish time, but I don't think it'll be that much longer. And also I had to stuff him, which I don't usually count in that. My thumb's got all these little pinprick areas where I've actually nicked myself with a needle. Almost there. And then we'll put the needle down to figure out how we want the top to work out. Oh no, come out, you're stuck. Eh. Fuzz in my mouth. Gross. Terrible. Why is hair in your mouth, even when it's your own hair, just such a deeply unpleasant feeling? running stitch. And then knot it just in case, but we are not going to cut it. Hair in the shower is absolutely the worst. That's absolutely fair. I only shave when my legs start to get itchy, and they are approaching that point. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to shave soon. A lot of this part is very just eyeball it and see. I just put a pin where it's going to be very inconvenient for me. I don't actually think I want that part. I think I actually want it to go up from here. There we go. Ow. Sticking myself again. Okay, this side I need to be very careful. So I'll start from the bottom and work upwards again. Oh, come on. Ooh, you're fighting me. Come on. This does not want to cut cleanly. There, is that officially anime protagonist ridiculousness enough? Alright, now to stitch it all together. And then pull the pin so that it can be floofy instead of flat. I have it too close to me again, sorry. Oop, bumped my 1 point of hair. Yeah, sticking myself again. On to the second point. We'll be able to pull these 2 pins pretty soon. Every now and then, it doesn't happen very often, but sometimes I will stick myself bad enough that I do actually start to bleed. And so then I need to put the plushie down because these stain so easily. But I haven't done it tonight, thank goodness. And second floofy point is done. This one, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to trim a little bit because I ran out of felt on the back end sooner than I did on the front end. And if I don't cut that off, it's gonna lay really weirdly. I should get this out of my mouth. I have a bad habit of just collecting all of the pins in my mouth. Pressed in the top of the giant floof. one more stitch, something like that. Oh, come on. And there's the point. So now we go down this side, and then just 2 more points. And then we're done with the hair. I might gauge your opinion on the eyeballs if you feel like it. I'll put the 2 sets of buttons on and we can decide from there. I don't think I actually have white buttons, so if I do go that route, I might have to go get some. I have a ton of buttons in my room, but they're not the right size for this. Those are mismatched ones that I've used for other crafting projects, but I have very specific buttons I use for this. All right, this pin can go away. Just 2 more pins. Progress. And then it'll be a good time to stop and go cook dinner. I eat dinner way later than I should. And approaching the tip on this one. Except again, the back is a little shorter than the front, so.
Now have primary control of critical vehicle function.
All right, down the second to last tip. You're having your dinner at midnight? Fair. I usually just don't eat dinner and go to bed at that point. Not in the past, because I have had insomnia for ages, so I mean, whatever time, and it's fine. But I'm on some new meds for sleep lately, and so it's real hard to stay up past midnight, 1 o'clock. Which, you know, is the point of them, so that's good. But gosh, it's been an adjustment. Okay, you are now officially in the way. Yeah, I genuinely thought we would have to try multiple things because I've had insomnia since I was 14. So I thought it was like, we're gonna have to try so much stuff. But like, gosh, these ones are just knocking me out. It's making it really hard to stay awake during the day. But I was warned that might happen and I'll probably adjust. So patience. Hopefully I don't get used to them. That's what I'm worried. I'll get used to them and then they'll stop working again. And now that I've had a taste of not taking an hour or two to fall asleep every night, yeah, it's better to feed yourself before you get to that point. I've been dealing with a eating disorder for years and years, so my hunger cues are not reliable. Would be nice if they were, but oh, you got inside somehow. Come out. Alright, last bit. Sorry, this is slightly out of frame, but I have to hold it at such a weird angle to keep it pinched close together and stitch. So some of it's going off screen a little bit. Apologies. Alright, 3 more stitches. 3, 2, 1. Now to tie it off. And his ridiculous anime hair is done. The tip is twisted up a little bit more than I want it to be. Yay! Does that look sufficiently Goku-like? Okay, so now, the question is, usually I would have, I think this is the right color. Usually I do their eyes the color of their pupils. Or not their irises. He's just got black pupils and irises. So usually I would do black for him. But, like I said, he kind of has incredibly gigantic sclera and then tiny pupils. So I don't have any white buttons here, but I'm debating getting some white buttons and just drawing the little dots. What do you think? Black or white? I like that you just said yes. Which, black? Okay, cool. So then I will stitch his black eyeballs on while we're here. Thank you. For helping me not make more work for myself. And then all I will need to do is he's got little blue armbands and boots. And then he's got kanji or whatever symbol on his gi, but I don't trust myself to do that correctly, so we might figure out an alternative, but I'm not going to do those on screen. Those are little fiddly details, so those will be done off screen, and then I will post a finished picture of him, but he'll be mostly done. no, that first one got too loose. This one gets lots and lots of stitches because I really don't want the eyeball falling off at some point. I would find that genuinely upsetting, so. I should just get another 2 and be good, hopefully. Alright, there's one. And yeah, that looks good. Hole, please. Thank you. No, don't get caught on his hair. Eh. Alright, there's 3. Oh no, that's 3. Starting to hit my fingers. Whew. 2 more probably. Should be good and solid. And now we'll tie it off. Da, 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 da. Now he has eyeballs. All right, and with that, I will call the stream. All I gotta do, like I said, is the little details. He needs armbands and boots and a little white circle here and one on the back. And that should be good for him. But that's all I'm gonna do tonight. I'm gonna go cook dinner now. But yeah, thanks so much for joining me, Oliver and TJ earlier. So much fun. I'm really genuinely gonna try to get back to doing craft streams. I need to make time for crafting. I need to not work all the frickin' time, and these are fun. So thank you, everybody. We're gonna go ahead and end it for the night. Have a good night. Bye.